Hello everyone, Mark here, Mark's Max Muscle. And this is, of course, Dorian Yates. And no, you did not click on the wrong video. Dorian Yates placed second place at his Mr. Olympia debut. And he, of course, followed that up with his first Olympia win the very next year in 1992. So a very auspicious debut at this event. And that is exactly what we are not looking for this video. For instance, there was Kevin Levrone, just like Dorian Yates. He placed second in his debut, and he did in fact go on to have a stellar career, never capturing the Olympia title, but still placing second many, many times. So for this video, we are looking for the complete opposite. So let us rewind back to 1980, and this is where we are going to begin. You will notice a small little wee guy there at the end. That is Samir Banu. This is his Mr. Olympia debut. He sticks out like a sore thumb because he's so small and no real noticeable standout body parts, anything like that. He placed second to last. He placed 15th at his Mr. Olympia debut. So nobody's seen this guy coming. Nobody had him on their radar. Fast forward 2 years later, and he was strutting his stuff to a 4th place finish. So he was definitely in the hunt. And by 1983, he had brought one of the most outstanding packages that the bodybuilding world had ever seen at that time. And he won his first and only, I might add, Mr. Olympia title. So from going second to last to very first place, that's the type of career that we are zooming in on today. And let us go to the next gentleman. This is backstage at the 1992 Mr. Olympia event, one that I was speaking about earlier. Dorian Yates, Kevin Levrone were there, all kinds of big names. I mean, Lou Ferrigno was hanging around, for goodness sakes. So I am sure nobody was even looking at this guy, or maybe they were even questioning if he was actually even a competitor or not. On stage, he looked pretty darn good, and knowing what we know now, he obviously had some standout body parts. I mean, those wheels, tremendous. So he did look pretty darn good, guys, even way back in 1992. But the judges did not think so. He placed second to last, just like Samir Banu. And of course, much like Samir Banu, went on to eventually capture the title, but not before a slow crawl up the rankings. Here in 1994, I believe he got a 15th place finish at the Olympia. He actually didn't look that much better than in 1992, maybe a few improvements. Then in 1995, I noticed he put on quite a bit of size, and his placings reflected that. I believe he crawled up to the 11th place, but still, I highly doubt that anybody had him picked as a future Mr. Olympia. By 1996, Ronnie Coleman could not be denied. He was improving by the day, it seemed. And he rapidly became a guy that you definitely did not want to stand next to. Didn't really matter who you were. If you were a complete guy or a mass monster, Ronnie King Coleman seemed to have it covered. 1997 seemed to be a little bit of a hiccup in Ronnie Coleman's career. He placed down a little bit from 1996. He placed 9th, and that is a little extra strange considering the following year in 1998, he took his very first ever title. So for a video of this nature, Ronnie Coleman gets bonus points because not only did he place second to last on his debut and eventually won the title, but he placed 9th the year before he won his first ever Olympia title. Now, no other Olympia champion placed that low before they won the title the year before. So that's an extra special record. And kudos to Ronnie King Coleman. He went on to win 8 Olympia titles. I mean, look at that, guys. From placing almost dead last, you might as well say dead last. They didn't even count the placings after 16th. But going last to winning 8 titles. Now that is a bodybuilding career. The next gentleman we are looking at is none other than Jay Cutler, a cut above the rest. Well, wasn't always that way. This is his Mr. Olympia debut back in 1999. He placed second to last, just like Samir Banu, just like Ronnie King Coleman. There was another gentleman that year, 1999, that also made his debut, Dexter the Blade Jackson, but he doesn't really meet the criteria of this video. He placed 9th in his debut to Jay Cutler's 15th. And unlike Jay Cutler, they were really sticking him next to the top guys. You can see him next to Flex Wheeler and even the champion, Ronnie King Coleman. So to say that nobody had Dexter the Blade Jackson on their radar is probably not a totally true statement. I am sure some people considered him the next Sean Ray. But back to Jay Cutler. This was him in 2000, just 1 year later, and he climbed all the way to 8th place. Food for thought, Dexter the Blade Jackson had maintained his 9th place finish, so Jay actually placed ahead of the Blade, creeping his way up in placings and then landing in a very good position in 2001. Still till this very day, people consider the 2001 Jay Cutler an uncrowned Mr. Olympia champion. So basically, in a few years, he went from placing second to last to second place. In 2006, of course, Jay Cutler fulfilled his dream by becoming a Mr. Olympia champion. So he definitely meets the criteria for this video. From second to last, just like the other two gentlemen, all the way to first. And of course, in 2010, he captured his 4th and final Mr. Olympia title. So another stellar career with very humble beginnings. We're going to finish off with Brandon Curry and Sean Roden. And they're basically honorable mentions. They're less of an example of what I'm looking for. In particular, Brandon Curry, because he placed 8th on his debut. This is 2011, and it was both of their debuts, food for thought. And Sean Roden placed all the way down in 11th place. But it was some time before Brandon Curry actually gained momentum and eventually won the title. Whereas Sean Roden the following year, I believe, placed 3rd at the Olympia, and then he placed 2nd at least once, and then of course 2018 he did take the title, and the following year Brandon Curry, he took the title as well. So fairly low placings at the beginning. I'm sure not too many people had them on their radar to be a future Mr. Olympia champion, but you never know. Ronnie King Coleman, I think, is the prime example of a future Mr. Olympia champion that nobody ever seen coming. So it kind of makes you wonder, is there anybody today that we do not see coming that's just going to explode like Ronnie King Coleman and win 8 Mr. Olympia titles? You never know, guys. You never know. Hit thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed this, and let me know if you do enjoy this type of content by hitting a thumbs up. And you could even go ahead and let me know you love me in the comments section, because I love you guys. Have a great day.